On a spooky Halloween night on the town of Willow Grove, children were eagerly going from house to house, collecting their favorite candy treats. However, this year, a dark and sinister twist was about to unfold. It was late that evening when 8-year-old Emily and her friends returned home, their bags filled with the usual assortment of sweets. But when Emily's mother, Sarah, began to inspect the candy, she made a horrifying discovery. A severed human finger, neatly packaged and mixed in with the other treats. Shocked and terrified, Sarah immediately contacted the police, who soon realized that this was not an isolated incident. Across the town, other parents were reporting similar findings, with some children even discovering toes, eyeballs, and other body parts hidden in their Halloween haul. The police launched a thorough investigation, tracing the routes of the trick-or-treaters and searching every house they had visited. But despite their efforts, no solid evidence was ever found, and the integrity of the person responsible remained a mystery. The community was left shaken and deeply concerned for the safety of their children. On a dark and eerie Halloween night in the city of Oakwood, a tragic event unfolded. Carl, a young man in his 20s, was driving with his girlfriend when they were suddenly attacked by a group of mischievous teenagers. As the teenagers pelted their car with eggs, Carl decided to confront them, expecting them to flee. However, the situation quickly escalated when 17-year-old Curtis pulled out a gun and shot Carl directly in the chest. Tragically, Carl died on the spot. Despite the fact that Curtis was a minor, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for the crime. Curtis claimed that he had only been egging the car for fun. But when Carl stepped out, he perceived him as a threat and reacted with deadly force. The community was left shaken by the senseless act of violence and the loss of a young life. It served as a poignant reminder of the importance of conflict resolution and the dangers of escalating situations, especially when weapons are involved. On a chilly Halloween night in the city of Riverdale, a tragic incident occurred. 27-year-old Ethan Williams, a resident of the city, got into a violent altercation with his girlfriend, 25-year-old Olivia Jones. According to the reports, Olivia had allegedly taken a bag of Ethan's Halloween candies, which sent them into a fit of rage. In the heat of the moment, Ethan grabbed a knife and repeatedly stabbed Olivia, ultimately taking her life. When the police arrived and arrested Ethan, he tried to defend his actions by claiming that his candy had been stolen. However, the legal system was not sympathetic to his explanation. Ethan was arrested and held on a $2 million bond. The community was left in shock and disbelief over the tragic turn of events. In the charming town of Maple Grove, the year was 1975 and Halloween was in full swing. As children excitedly roamed the streets collecting their sugary treats, an unsettling discovery was about to be made. A mysterious couple was handing out large, heavy paper bags to a few unsuspecting trick-or-treaters. The bags, weighing between 2 to 4 pounds, were said to have been passed to the children by a woman who retrieved them for someone hiding behind the door. Before the kids left, the woman would instruct them to wait until they got home to open the bags. However, the real twist was that the couple did not actually live in the house they were distributing the bags from. It was a vacant home, and when a neighbor drove by and noticed the suspicious activity, they decided to investigate. Upon opening one of the bags, the neighbor made a grisly discovery. A human hand was inside. In total, 3 to 6 bags had been given away, each containing either a left or right hand. This meant that at least 2 bodies had been dismembered to create these horrifying treats. The community was left shaken, and the question on everyone's mind was, where did this unknown couple obtain these body parts, and how did they come to be in their possession? On a chilly Halloween night in Baguio City, Philippines, a tragic incident occurred. A disabled army veteran, Michael, was sitting in his wheelchair outside of a local food festival when he was suddenly attacked by a young Marine. Mistakenly assuming that Michael was mocking veterans with his wheelchair costume, the Marine became enraged. He viciously assaulted the half-paralyzed veteran, beating him to the ground and knocking him unconscious. It wasn't until the police arrived to arrest the Marine that he realized his grave error. Michael was not wearing a costume. He was wearing a genuine war hero confined to a wheelchair due to his service-related injuries. The community in Baguio City was left in shock and disbelief over the senseless act of violence against a vulnerable veteran. The Marine faced severe legal consequences for his actions, while Michael's family and his friends rallied to support him during his recovery. In the quiet coastal town of Surigao, Philippines, on a chilling Halloween night in 1980, a tragic event unfolded. 10-year-old Ron had been granted permission by his parents to go trick-or-treating alone, but he never returned home. After a long and anxious search, the boy's devastated parents were reunited with him at around 2 a.m. as he walked up to their doorstep. To their surprise, the boy seemed happy and eager to share his story. He explained that a man had stopped his car and offered the boy a lot of candy if he got in. The man then took the boy to his house, where they went down to the basement and played a game called Touch Me Where. The man also requested that the boy give him all his clothes, including his undergarments, in exchange for fresh new ones. After several hours, the man drove the boy back to the other side of his block and told him to walk home. When the parents and police tried to get the boy to lead them to the house, he repeatedly said, "I don't remember." The identity of the sinister man remains a mystery, leaving the community in fear that he may still be out there, waiting to prey on another unsuspecting child. In the town of Riverdale, on a warm summer night of 2024, the streets were alive with excitement. People had decorated their homes with colorful lights, spooky figures, and carved pumpkins, preparing for the annual summer festival. However, amidst the festive atmosphere, a tragic event unfolded. A 35-year-old woman named Olivia had taken her own life by hanging herself from a tree in a quiet neighborhood. Her body, suspended 10 feet high, blended in with other decorations, going unnoticed by the passers-by. For hours, the locals believed it was just another prop, part of the celebrations, until the next morning when a curious neighbor noticed something amiss. At first, they thought it was a prank, but upon closer inspection, they realized the horrifying truth. Olivia had lived just a short distance away from the tree, and her sudden and unexpected death left the community in shock and sorrow. In the town of Oakwood, on a night when the air was crisp and the moon shined brightly, 18-year-old Emma was invited to a Halloween party at her friend Liam's house. The party was bustling with an estimated 50 students, and among the familiar faces, there was an unfamiliar man who seemed to stand out from the crowd. None of the students knew who this mysterious figure was, but Liam didn't bother to ask him to leave, thinking it was just another uninvited guest at a party. As Liam later explained, "I've had random people show up at my parties before, and it's never been a problem, so I didn't think much of it." As the night wore on, Emma's mother, Mrs. Anderson, called Liam's house, asking if Emma was still there. When the call went unanswered, Mrs. Anderson called the police in a panic. Liam and his friends quickly went out to search the neighborhood, but their efforts to find Emma were in vain. Tragically, the mysterious man was later spotted dragging Emma's unconscious body into the nearby woods. When the group tried to follow him, the man fled, disappearing into the darkness. It was discovered that Emma had been drugged at some point during the party, and the identity of her abductor remained a mystery. What unsolved mysteries from these Halloween stories interest you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and if you have any scary encounters, share your experiences with us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Fearflex for more videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you at the next one.